there are some games that I get excited about. Battlefront was one of those games. Was one of those games. I now have basically no excitement at all for Star Wars Battlefront because what I feared would happen has kind of started to rear its ugly head. The more and more I hear about Star Wars Battlefront, the less excited I get. I used to be really pumped for the idea of another Star Wars Battlefront game. The old ones were great, I loved them, and technology's come a long way in all those years. A reboot, especially one by DICE, they seem like the perfect people to breathe new life into the Star Wars Battlefront series. It's been a long time coming. We needed another Star Wars Battlefront. And the time, with The Force Awakens coming out soon, this is the time. The time was ripe. So, of course, me and every other video gamer, we started to wet our pants because, oh shit, DICE is making the next Star Wars Battlefront game. It'll be amazing. Imagine the massive battles. Imagine this, imagine that. And then we started to learn about the game. And the more we learned, the less we liked it. Now, it's probably my fault that I thought that this game would hopefully be what I don't think it's going to be. Yeah, mea culpa, I get it. But I am certain that a lot of other people thought that this game would be a bit more. In fact, I think a lot of us thought that it would be a whole lot more. And I'm talking just sheer content. Just sheer content of the game itself. Unfortunately, I think that Star Wars Battlefront is experiencing the Destiny syndrome. It is riding itself on the hype of either the company who makes it or the franchise of whose skin it's wearing. And as such, all this hype, all this buildup, means that they don't have to fill it with as much content as they should or as much as its predecessor had in Battlefront's case, because they know people eat this shit up like hotcakes because it's got Star Wars on the cover. And we all know people will just buy things because it's got Star Wars on it. Putting Star Wars on a box is like printing money. Now, I looked more into the features that have been confirmed, or the lack of features that have been confirmed for this game before I made the video, though I knew right off the top of my head that I wasn't liking what I was seeing so far. Yes, I understand that DICE wants to make their own vision, but is it really their vision? Let's be frank. Is it really DICE's vision, or is this EA's vision? Is this EA saying, no, you can't have space battles, no, you can't have instant action, no, you can't have galactic conquest, no, you can't play from the Clone Wars era, no, you can't have all these classes to choose from, no, you can't have 64 players? How many of that was actually DICE? DICE often said, we want to make the Star Wars game that we all dreamed of. This is the Star Wars game that you guys all dreamed of? I think this is the game that EA dreamed of. And DICE just had to go, yes, sir, because they knew who was writing the check. But I am certain that EA would be absolutely happy to sell us things like Galactic Conquest modes. They'll be happy to sell us DLC in the form of now with space battles. Stuff that came with the original game. And we can argue all day long till the cows come home about how good the space battles really were, about how well thought through Galactic Conquest actually was, how much the Clone Wars just wasn't as good as the classical Star Wars period, or how much it really added to this and that. We could argue about that stuff all day. But it cannot be denied that this is stuff that used to be in Battlefront that isn't. The last thing that really kind of spurred me into making at least a statement about this was that there will be no server browser on the PC, and that's kind of like a PC staple. That's kind of important to have. There has not been a game to date, none, no game that I have played do I trust the matchmaking system in. I don't trust any matchmaking system I have ever played. There has not yet been a game that can accurately define people's skill and put them on the appropriate teams. And this is just coincidental, but 2 nights ago, I had played 3 Battlefield games, Conquest Large, 64 players. I played on 3 different servers, 3 different games where I was swapped by the auto balancer to the losing side. And it was infuriating. So no, I don't trust DICE's magical matchmaking to get good even games. What I want is I want to go to the server browser and I want to have a list of all the games. And I want to see how many people are in it, what's my ping, what is the score, what map are they playing. That's what I want to see. That's what every PC gamer wants to see. I'm going to do just what I did in Battlefield, right? I'm going to filter out United Kingdom and all those other countries that I won't have really good ping with. I'm going to filter it to only ping under 100, no hardcore, all the DLCs. I want to be able to filter what kind of games I play so that I can join games that I like. And I don't think this is a DICE decision. I really don't think that this in particular was a DICE decision. I don't care what they might say about, yeah, we think it's best, or we thought we would do this. No. I don't think that DICE, one of the most prominent PC-friendly companies, would cut from the game one of the staples of PC gaming and one of the greatest aspects of any large-scale game that you could play, which is a server browser. I do not think that DICE sat at a table and decided we are not going to have a server browser in a game that's supposed to support 40 players. DICE has done some dumb shit in the past, but they ain't that dumb. I think EA said, you're not going to have it because this is going to be a game for casuals. And that's what Battlefront looks like. It looks like a game for casuals, which is not in and of itself bad, but I don't think that Battlefront is one of those games that I would like to see be super casual. Especially because Battlefield 4 really has a lot of complexity to it in terms of the way the weapons behave, in terms of the vehicles, and learning vehicles, especially in Battlefield 3, learning how the vehicles function and learning how all the attachments work for vehicles. It's basically its own metagame. To be quite frank, and I don't want to come across as some elitist first-person shooter god, but Battlefront, from what I've seen so far, it looks like a game I could master in about 7 hours. It looks like one of those games that I could just pick up and in an afternoon be like, I've learned everything there is to learn, and there's not really anything else for me to do now. Whereas in Battlefield 4, even after the immense amount of time I've spent in Battlefield 4, I have not mastered everything by any stretch of the imagination. Hell, I can't fly a little helicopter for shit. Now, I'm not saying that Star Wars Battlefront will be bad. I don't want it to be bad. I hope it is really good. I hope this game turns out to be excellent. I hope that there is immense layers underneath the otherwise very simple gameplay that we've seen so far. But at this point, my hopes are just not really high. I'm going to reserve judgment. I'm not going to say it sucks. I'm going to say that from what I have seen so far, this game does not really look all that great. I mean, it sounds amazing. This game sounds incredible. And it looks good. Yeah, absolutely looks good. But graphics and sound do not a good game make. So as we inch closer and closer to the release of EA's Star Wars Battlefront, hopefully we'll get more and more good news, and more things will be revealed to us. However, for now, I'm going to really reserve my judgment, and I'd really appreciate people to stop hyping the hell out of this game. The last thing we need is for people to pre-order these games in droves, so that there's even less incentive for companies to put less and less content in them. Level cap. I mean, I'm as excited as anybody about The Force Awakens. I really am. But as for Star Wars Battlefront, let's adopt more of a wait-and-see attitude before we overhype this game and before we put too much stock in nostalgia instead of seeing what they're giving to us today. Because remember, there have been a lot of games that looked really good and that we really wanted to like, and they didn't turn out so good. So those are my thoughts so far about Battlefront and the Battlefront hype. You guys have a good one, and I'll see you later.